The weapons depletion rate, this is all publicly available. I do not deal in classified information. I am a public person. I don't deal in stolen information because that is something that's been lobbed at me in recent weeks. So missile interceptors, about 50% of the inventory of Patriot ballistic missile interceptors, and 50, likely closer to 80% of terminal high altitude area defense interceptors were expended in the course of the war. Over 1,000, that's about a third of our entire stockpile of Tomahawk cruise missiles has been expended. Large quantities of the JASSM missiles, as well as pretty much the entire pre-war inventory of new precision strike missiles, the PrSMs that were used. Also, interestingly enough, because we were told there was never any threat to our Navy, this is why, of course, they never really dared to go through the Strait of Hormuz, the Navy reports that they expended large quantities of their SM-3 and SM-6 naval interceptors, which indicates to me, if I may conjecture here, that there must have been one hell of a fight over the security of our ships when the war was in its kinetic phase. So the White House was lying when they said that the ships were totally safe. Our ships are very much at risk, obviously, from these numbers. Furthermore, there are now significant gaps in the supply chain for those naval defenders. One last bit of data I'd like to deliver here. I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. The chart here I have is for the PrSM. We blew through our pre-war stock, which was already low. They're saying the best estimate will be it will be replenished by late this year. The JASSM air-to-surface missiles will probably be replaced middle of next year. Those SM-3, SM-6 Navy defense missiles will take until about mid-2028. Those Patriot interceptors, not until closer to 2030. The THAAD interceptors, and the THAADs are the real important ones. That's not going to come until probably 2030. And the Tomahawks will not be replaced for another 5 years. So we better hope that the Chinese or some other area of interest is no longer requiring our assistance, because we have depleted ourselves, Tucker. And I will just add and conclude my little statement here with, unfortunately, it is my assessment that this memorandum of understanding that might or may not lead to a longer deal. I'm very skeptical of that. I think we'll get a 60-day reprieve, and then it'll be like the tariffs. It'll be every 45 days we're getting an extension. But I would just add that what we have agreed to, the Trump administration, and they didn't have a choice because the president already said we're going to run out of oil in 4 weeks. So he was up against a wall, and good for him for doing this. But ultimately, this is a conditional surrender document. The United States started a war, and it promptly lost. The Iranians have, unfortunately, strategically, at the strategic level, they have achieved victory. And where I think this goes geopolitically is a post-American Middle East in which Israel is likely now the pariah state, whereas before the war, you'll remember, even after 10/7, the Abraham Accords were really still in effect, and they were working Israel as sort of the center of this new U.S.-backed order in the Middle East. That's gone. And there's now going to be a new Middle East, and it's going to comprise, and this is my friend Dr. Artem Moini, this has been his thesis as well, and I agree with him. There's going to be 5 powers in the Middle East now. It's going to be Saudi Arabia, the Islamic Republic of Iran, Pakistan with their nuclear umbrella, the Egyptians, second largest economy in Africa, one of the best, I think it's probably the best conventional military in the Muslim world, and then Turkey with its very impressive industrial indigenous base. Remember, Jonathan Conricus, the former IDF spokesman at the JNS conference this last week, implied that the Israelis could not build an F-35 on their own. I would add that's true, but actually the Turks are proving with their new Khan fighter that they absolutely could on their own. They don't need the U.S. and NATO. They have a very proficient defense industrial base. Those Middle East powers, or greater Middle East powers, because obviously Pakistan, Egypt, and Turkey are not technically in the Middle East, but those greater Middle East powers are going to form the new post-American order. And, where it goes from here really is up to really Mr. Netanyahu and his government.